Tension in Europe is reaching a dangerous new level. A storm is brewing between Ukraine and Hungary. And this time, it's not just about politics, but open accusations of threats, blackmail, and retaliation. In Brussels, where European leaders gathered to discuss another financial aid package for Ukraine, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán refused to support the deal. He said Hungary would not, under any circumstance, approve what he called a bottomless pit of spending. His statement sent shockwaves through the European Union. But what followed next took the crisis to another level. Reports from Budapest claim that Ukrainian officials warned Hungary of consequences if it continued blocking EU aid. Orban responded furiously, saying Ukraine's tone was unacceptable and accusing President Volodymyr Zelenskyy of making open and serious threats against his country. Hungary will not be blackmailed, Orban declared, calling the remarks a direct attack on national sovereignty. Behind closed doors, EU diplomats tried to calm the situation, but insiders say the atmosphere was electric. Hungary hinted it could block future energy transfers to Ukraine, while Ukraine reminded Budapest that its survival still depends heavily on Europe's unity. What began as a dispute over money has now turned into a political firestorm that could divide the EU itself. Zelenskyy, visibly frustrated during his latest briefing, accused Orban of serving Russian interests. Every time we move forward, there's always one voice pulling us back, he said, without naming Hungary directly. But everyone in Brussels knew exactly who he was talking about. Hungary's response was equally sharp. Orban's spokesman accused Ukraine of crossing all lines of diplomacy and warned that Budapest would not tolerate what it called energy blackmail. Sources within the Hungarian government even suggested cutting power exports to Ukraine, a move that would deepen the energy crisis already crippling the country. Tensions spiked again after Orban's national radio interview, where he said, "We are being threatened by those we have tried to help. This is not partnership, this is pressure." The statement ignited outrage in Kyiv, where officials called Orban's words manipulative and misleading. Across Europe, leaders are watching nervously. The European Union has already been divided over how to handle Ukraine's war effort and reconstruction funding. Now, the dispute between Budapest and Kyiv threatens to tear that unity apart, just when Europe needs it most. Analysts say the confrontation is more than just about aid. It's about trust. Hungary has long been accused of blocking EU unity on Russia, while Ukraine sees itself fighting for survival. Each side feels cornered. Each side believes the other has gone too far. Diplomats describe the situation as one step away from a diplomatic crisis. In Brussels, whispers have begun that if Hungary continues to isolate itself, it could face sanctions or lose influence within the bloc. Orban, however, seems unfazed. His message is clear. Hungary will not bow to threats, not even from Kyiv. For Ukraine, the stakes are equally high. Every delay in EU funding means fewer resources to sustain its defences, and every sign of division in Europe is a victory for Moscow. That's why Kyiv views Orban's defiance not just as obstruction, but as betrayal. As night falls over Europe, neither side is backing down. Hungary insists it is defending its national interests. Ukraine says it's defending its very existence. What began as a policy disagreement has become a confrontation with unpredictable consequences. And in the halls of Brussels, one question now echoes louder than ever. Has Europe finally reached its breaking point?